Going to jump right back into the high school basketball conversation as we welcome in Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Sully, how are you?
What's happening, man?
Just, right here in the middle of, the high school basketball tournament. A great day of basketball yesterday over at watching Millville eliminate top-seeded Eastern with a buzzer beater in overtime, and then saw the Pleasantville-Camden game. And then, of course, today, two more games, a lot more games on tap. I'll be down at Wildwood for the Wildwood girls, and then over to St. Augustine to watch St. Augustine play Camden Catholic. So a busy time of year, but a great time of year.
You can have a nice mileage check coming up, buddy.
Well, there you go. There you go,
Yes, man, so much basketball to talk about. Some great games this week, obviously. Mainland girls get Kylie Watson back, so they're back in the Group 3 semifinals. South Jersey, Ocean City's also in the Group 3 semis. Middle Township, we haven't touched on them yet. They outstanding win over the number 1 seed Sterling yesterday, so they won 42-40. They're in the championship game, South Jersey Group 2 against Manchester. Middle's been one of those teams that I think they only have one loss since early January.
Yeah, they're a team that is kind of that turned it around. They got off to about a 500 start, but they played such a tough schedule early on, and then they were able to go on I think a 17 or 18 game winning streak that lasted until the Cape Atlantic League final, where they kind of lost to Ocean City, but then they recover, get back on track for the tournament, get a big win last night at Sterling. Hurley, a sophomore guard, has played well for them. Kira Sides, a junior forward, has been outstanding. They've got good defense out of the Hunter girl, and John Leahy's just done a great job with them. So now they find themselves in the South Jersey final against Manchester Township, who's one of the top teams in the state, the Shore Conference champion. 2 years ago, Middle and Manchester met in the South Jersey final, and Manchester won at the buzzer. I think the score was 34-33. So Middle Township gets a rematch with that. Just an outstanding job by the Panthers this season.
And Wildwood Catholic, both the boys and the girls, I believe, in the semifinals. I mean, that's just a basketball hotbed down there, and I was down there last night checking out the Wildwood Catholic boys versus Holy Spirit, and, man, they're just playing out of their minds right now. I mean, it was, I think, 31-10 at one point or in the second quarter.
Yeah, Wildwood Catholic, a couple of days off. They won the Cape Atlantic League Championship last Saturday, and they don't play again. They had a first-round bye. They didn't play again till last night, and obviously they were able to roll over Holy Spirit. Now they've got an Immaculata team from Somerset County that I believe has to get on a bus in about 5 minutes for the trip to get to Wildwood Catholic by Monday night at 7 o'clock to play that game down there. Take a 100-mile bus ride down to Wildwood Catholic for the semifinal game. And if Wildwood Catholic gets by them, then we'll have the game that everybody has wanted to see, the Wildwood Catholic Rainey game on Wednesday night in the South Jersey final. Rainey, of course, 2 McDonald's All-Americans on the team, nationally ranked, a game that really the entire state has anticipated seeing at some point.
Mike, outstanding season by Pleasantville. It came to an end last night with a loss to Camden, but, man, that team has really elevated itself over the last 2 or 3 years, really the last 2 years, to become one of those teams that can contend for a Cal championship. They made the semifinals this year, the Cal tournament. And I don't know how they'll look next year. They're obviously losing their 3 best players to graduation in Villegas, Samir Jones, and Jalen Freeman, so they got some rebuilding to do. But good to see them kind of really almost get back to where they were, back in the 90s under Coach Leary.
Yeah, I mean, Pleasantville finishes the season with a 20-9 record, and looking back in the records, and I haven't tried to find it, that's their most wins since at least the 2000-2001 season, and that's a long time now. That's 18-19 seasons. So, and you mentioned it last night. Camden just kind of overwhelmed them. Camden came out, shot the ball extremely well. They had about 8 3-pointers in the first half. Lance Ware, Camden's high-level Division I prospect, had a monster dunk in the lane that kind of turned the momentum of the game in Camden's favor, and Pleasantville never really recovered. Outstanding careers by Samir Jones, Jacob Felice, and Jalen Freeman. And Pleasantville will be back. I mean, I obviously have to replace those three kids, but they've got promising sophomores in Elijah Jones and Noel Gonzalez, a couple other promising youngsters. So Pleasantville will take a little bit of a step back next season, but they'll begin building again. And again, an outstanding season. They make it to the Cape Atlantic League semis. They make it to the South Jersey Group 2 semifinals. Camden just shot the ball extremely well last night. And when Camden, if Camden's going to make 8 3-pointers and a half, they're going to be tough to beat no matter who they play.
Mike, another team that really impressed me this year was Ocean City Boys. I know they got upset by number 10 Seneca in the quarterfinals there of South Jersey Group 3, but man, that team just has completely overachieved the last 2 years. I think it was the second time in Coach Bruno's history they won 20 or more games, and what a great group of guys down there. We talk about Varallo and Sacco, Donovan Graham. I mean, those guys have really gotten the most out of everything they could have in their careers, and it was really fun to watch those guys develop into one of the better teams in the Cal.
Yeah, it's been like you said, quite a 2-year run for John Bruno and the Ocean City Red Raiders. A lot of moments this season for them. John Bruno won his 400th career game. It was his 30th season as coach. They won the Cape Atlantic League National Division. They upset Millville in the first round of the CAL tournament. They've got a 1-point lead on St. Augustine with 3 minutes to go in the Cape Atlantic League semifinal. They get to the state tournament and they kind of stub their toe against Seneca. I bet you they're kind of kicking themselves because, they win that game. They get a chance to host Mainland Regional today in the South Jersey Group 3 semifinal. That would have been a great game to see, but obviously a great season by Ocean City. And on the flip side, Mainland, kind of unexpected success this season. They stumbled a little bit towards the end of the season. Barron got hurt. Angelo Barron, a top player, got hurt against Lower Cape May. That probably cost them that game. And then, they get beat in the first round of the Cape Atlantic League tournament by St. Augustine, but Mainland able to put it back together. And, they're hosting Seneca today with a chance to get to a South Jersey final. Should be a great day over at Mainland with that boy-girl doubleheader in the semifinals.
Yeah, standing room only, man. They sold out, about an hour after they announced tickets were available. So,
yeah, it should be a great day over there. As both Mainland teams try to make it to a South Jersey final. Like you said, the Mainland girls had a lot of pressure on them all season. Kylie Watson comes back from the concussion. She gets them past Absegami. And, I think what everybody wants to see, at least in the Cape Atlantic League, is another Mainland Ocean City girls South Jersey Group 3 final, and we've got the potential for that if the Mainland girls and Ocean City girls both win today.
Talk with Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. And, Mike, anything really surprised you so far about these playoffs? I mean, I was a guy who was very high on Millville boys. We talked to Coach Jones a couple weeks ago, and I really had a feeling they would do some good things in at least in the sectional, and now they're into the championship game. So to me, that's really one of the big stories of this playoff so far is how the Millville team got hot again. They were really hot going into the Cal tournament, lost early on, and then they were able to bounce back and get it rolling again. Yeah,
I think that's a surprise. I mean, the fact that Millville had a standout season, an excellent season, and then they go into the Cape Atlantic League tournament and they lose at home to the Ocean City team we just talked about a few minutes ago, and you say to yourself, well, hey, what's kind of going on with Millville? Maybe you put them on the back burner a little bit. Then they come out in the state tournament. They beat Clearview. They beat Lenape. And yesterday they go to Eastern to play Eastern in the number 1 seed in the semifinals. And really in the second quarter of that game, Millville just played the perfect quarter. I mean, as good as any basketball team can play. They outscored Lenape 22-7 in that quarter. Eddie Jamison hit some perimeter shots. I think he converted 2 steals in the layups. All of a sudden, you look up, Millville's got a 15-point halftime lead on Eastern. Eastern storms back, behind the shooting of Win City, makes 6 3-pointers in the second half. He banks in a 3-pointer from the top of the key with 14 seconds left to tie the game. You figure, okay, now Eastern has the momentum. Now Eastern's going to ride it out. Eastern grabs the lead in overtime, but Millville able to come back. Eastern doesn't make some free throws, and then Audrey Green with one of those, Sports Center top 10 plays, a twisting, contorting, layup at the buzzer that you can see on PressOfAC.com in my story, to set off a wild celebration for Millville. And two things about the Millville game stand out. First of all, I had a laugh. Millville football coach Dennis Thomas, he might be the fan of the state tournament. He was at Eastern, sitting behind the Millville bench. He was standing with the students, the whole section, leading the cheers. So just a great job by Coach Dennis Thomas, because, if there's a fan of the state tournament of the first week, he gets that award. And, Millville, nobody could remember when they were in a South Jersey final, whether it was last time they were in, whether it be 1969. They had a great team back then. So Coach Mike Jones thought it was then. And then at 10:30 last night, I got an email from, the great Tony Cerise, former football coach, former AD, says it was actually 1970, and you'll never guess, I was an assistant coach on that team that went to a South Jersey final in 1970. So now Millville in a South Jersey final for the first time in 49 years against Cherokee on Monday night. And that's really, their kind of run through the tournament, their win yesterday is kind of what the state tournament is all about.
Are they going to break out the Chuck Taylors for the final?
Possibly. Who knows? But it's been a long time for Millville, and just a great win yesterday to put them in a position against Cherokee. And, who knows what happens Monday at Cherokee. It'll be tough for Millville to go on the road and win again, but, that's what this time of year is all about, teams getting hot at the right time and winning games like Millville won yesterday.
Mike, real quick before we let you go, St. Augustine, number 1 seed in non-public South A, and they're going to be taking on Camden Catholic, a team that's really come on in the last month or so, number 4 seed today at 5:30. Who do you like in that game? And obviously, St. Augustine has talent, but Camden Catholic, that's going to be a tough matchup for the Hermits.
Yeah, that game's a toss-up, basically. I mean, last year they played in this round at St. Augustine, and Camden Catholic won in overtime. Camden Catholic went out to a big lead in that game. St. Augustine came storming back. The game went to overtime. So that's, what I kind of call a make-or-miss game. Whatever team makes that shot at the right time, whatever team is able to execute that set at the right time, that's going to be another close game, another high-tension game. We'll be at that game later today. We'll have the story online tonight at pressofac.com and in the paper tomorrow. And that should be another standout game in that non-public A semifinal. So that's going right to the wire. St. Augustine's had an excellent season with Charles Solomon and Andrew Delaney. A lot of size on that St. Augustine team. And Camden Catholic also has a lot of size. So we'll see, kind of what plays out there. But that's just going to be who makes that perimeter shot at the right time, who goes on that run late in the third quarter, that timely run. That's what's going to happen today out at St. Augustine.
Good stuff as always, Mike. Make sure you got the car gassed up, oil changed, all that good stuff. You got
We'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to go.
One more crazy weekend for you. So
exactly, best time of year, and congrats to all the teams that have moved on. It's just been a thrilling week, and hope we get some more good basketball this week and in the days ahead.
Appreciate it as always, Mike. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, see you down the road, Sully. Thanks for having me on.